Okay, shadow boxing. So I was asked if I could do a series on shadow boxing, and I thought let's begin with the very basics, and then what we're going to do is explore some of the more technical aspects of shadow boxing. Before you begin this, you should have watched our other series on how to do the punches. Today's punches, I'm just going to focus on punches 1 and 2, the jab and cross. Keep your thumb outside the hands, wrap them around there, make sure your wrists are flat. The jab is the lead hand, the cross is the back hand, and you must pivot on the cross. So the first thing about shadow boxing is range. Now, when people shadow box, they'll often do it in front of a screen or in front of a mirror. Now, the thing is, if you're my mirror, I can't come too close, which would be actual range to the mirror, because if I punch like this, I'm going to hit the mirror, so I can't use actual range. So when we're shadow boxing, we use a disproportionate range. We step further back, so it's inaccurate. So the first thing that I think you need to do if you're going to be working on any aspect of shadow boxing is to establish range. Now, I was shown this really effective technique only a few years ago by another coach. I really like it too. And what you would do is you'd stand near to a wall, and you would stand at the distance that you think you would need to stand in order to just be able to reach that. So I'll do that on the wall, okay? We find that most boxers can't do this. So if I stand here, I think I could reach that wall there. Let me demonstrate this on this thing. I'm going to explain what this is for in a minute. I think that I could reach that here. This is where my perceived range would be. And what I'm talking about is at full range here, there, with an extended shoulder, not here, and I shouldn't be out of range there. I shouldn't have to step into range. That's called edge of range when you're there. Really, I need to be in range. So I was able to judge that. I think that the first exercise that you should do if you're shadow boxing is to establish range. Second thing you can do, now many of you don't have a punch bag at this time, especially in lockdown, or if you can't afford one or you don't have one, simply a rope will do the trick. Now what you'll see is I've got a football here and I've chucked it into a bag for life. You can use a normal shopping bag if you like, but a bag for life is a little bit tougher, so I'm going to improvise and adapt and use a rope. This is actually a hand wrap rather than a rope, but in the absence of a punch bag, trust me, a simple rope is your best friend, and I'm going to show you why. When you set yourself up, you can actually punch to this thing here, like that. Now this then begins to move. If I punch here, this will flick at me, and I then need to move around. Now, here's where I get to the point of shadow boxing. It's all very well standing still, throwing punches, and we will cover that. We will cover different styles, different methods, different ways of shadow boxing with different styles. I think shadow boxing is more about getting range, getting set up, getting your ring position right when you're doing this. So when you're doing this, if you're doing this, this is going to move towards you and you're going to be moving away. So shadow boxing becomes about footwork. That's what makes a bigger difference to your boxing than anything else. If you've got a target to hit, a punch bag, that's better. But with this is a good substitute. So, okay, so I've changed now so that you can see my feet. Now, if you're ever going to wear boxing boots, it should be either when you're sparring or when you're doing your footwork drills. Wearing boxing boots to go for a long run is stupidity. I'll say that again, it's stupidity. You're wearing out your boxing boots, for one, they're expensive, and two, there's not enough protection in them. So don't kid yourself you're cool if you go for a run in your boxing boots. You're just going to get injured. The reason I'm not wearing boxing boots is that my boxing boots are black, so I've got some orange minimal trainers on. There's literally no sole on these at all. So they're very flat, and that's what you should be doing if you're shadow boxing and your footwork drills in. So I set up my range like this, there, and what I do is I turn my front foot at 45 degrees and lift the back heel off the floor. Just this much. This makes my footwork dynamic. Moving to my lead foot, this is drill number 1. Just jab and just move. Jab and move. Jab and move. And just move around it like that. Honestly, If you do that for your shadow boxing, you'll be doing well. Now, if you do this correctly, when you do the cross, jab and cross, you can see my back foot's pivoted there. When I pivot my back foot, I can also reach the rope. Watch this. There, there. I reach the rope. If I don't pivot, can you see that I fall short? So this rope is teaching me the valuable lesson of range. Okay, let's do a simple drill using the Boxercise footwork training system that's going to allow me to do something really, really straightforward. What we're going to do is we're going to set up in the stance box first. And once I've set up in the stance box, then I'm going to throw a jab, moving forwards, because one of the most basic principles that we do is when we're teaching boxers at a younger level or at a beginner level, we teach them to jab and move or punch and hold your feet. That means don't move around too much. It doesn't mean you're static, but it means don't move around too much. So I'm going to firstly do the moves, then I'm going to do punches, but I'm only going to do it forward. Tomorrow we'll do it going backwards, okay? So we're going to do this progressively. So find a stance box. Now, if you don't have the footwork training system lines, if you use your tiles in your kitchen, 30 centimeter tiles, it's going to work out pretty well. Turn your foot so it's pointing at the corner of a tile and the back of your foot at the other side. This gets your foot in the correct angle. Now, if you're tall, you'll take a longer stance. If you're short, you'll take a shorter stance. But roughly shoulder width, maybe up to shoulder width and a half. So 1.5 times shoulder width. No wider than that to start with. Keep the line between your feet. Turn and point your shoulder towards your target. That's a great tip. When you're using a tile like this, turn and point your shoulder towards it. Push off the back foot dynamically. Push. There. Keep the line between your feet. There. Now you can move backwards. Push off the front foot like this. Keep the line between your feet. And you should be able to do this without looking down. This is drill number 1. The next thing you do is maybe every second step, throw a jab. But don't do it too quickly. Just get the hang of it. So I'll do 1 step, 2 step. Now here's the key to this thing. It's timing. When the foot lands, the hand should land. What I don't want to do is foot, hand, because then I'm slowing the movement down. What I want is it to be nice and quick and dynamic. So I'll do that again. 1 step, 2 step. 1 step, 2 step. 1 step, 2 step. If that's all you do for shadow boxing for 3 rounds of 2 minutes, and maybe for a round put a little rope up like that, that's enough for day 1. You don't need to do anything else. I would practice that until it's perfect, till you can move without needing to look down at your feet to make sure the line is there. You want your weight 50-50 between your front and back foot. If anything, lean very slightly back. It depends very much on your style. Next video, we'll look at some other tips of shadow boxing. We'll learn how to move backwards, then we'll learn how to move sideways. But for now, stick with drill number 1. That's going to be enough to get you going. Do 3 rounds of 2 minutes, just doing that. 3 rounds of 2 minutes doing that, and I swear on my life, your boxing will improve. To be brilliant, we don't need to be brilliant at anything. What we need to do is all of the small things very, very, very well. Focus on the small things and brilliance will follow. Good luck with that, guys. Hope it helps. Really straightforward drill for you.